busy day for the Chinese top leader. In a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin, President Xi said the two nations should strengthen cooperation within multilateral frameworks. With China set to hold the rotating chair of BRICS next year, Xi Jinping said Beijing is ready to work with Russia to make it a success. Putin said Russia is also willing to deepen cooperation with China in such areas as energy, transport infrastructure, aviation manufacturing, and space. The two leaders also discussed various global and regional issues, including Korean Peninsula tensions. They agreed to jointly safeguard regional peace and stability. In his meeting with Nepali Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal, President Xi said China hopes to build a bilateral community of shared destination. He said China is ready to support Nepal in its post-earthquake reconstruction. He encouraged Chinese businesses to invest in Nepal and construct special economic zones and industrial parks. For his part, Dahal said the Nepal-China friendship is time-honored and unbreakable. President Xi also met with his South African counterpart Jacob Zuma on Saturday. The Chinese president suggested progression on existing cooperative projects, including a railway corridor, a science and technology park, and vocational training. President Xi said China supports South Africa in playing a bigger role in international and regional affairs. Zuma said South Africa appreciates its relationship with China and the support in areas such as infrastructure construction and personnel training. Chinese President Xi Jinping called on the two nations to maintain close collaboration and make greater contributions to world peace, stability, and prosperity.
The president of the BRICS New Development Bank, K.V. Kamal, spoke to CCTV News about how the institution is planning to help pull developing countries out of the global economic rut.
The world economy has been very sluggish, and also that the economic growth has been very slow. There are huge challenges facing the BRICS countries. So what role do you think that the New Development Bank will play in boosting the economic recovery of these countries?
As I say it, economic cycles are always present. They keep going in swings up and down. And at this point in time, there is a slightly downward spiral, particularly in the commodity industries. But these, as we've seen in the past, are always temporary. So the New Development Bank is really built for the future as the BRICS countries and hopefully in course of time other countries go through these developmental needs. At this point in time, our belief is that some of our members could be impacted by the commodity cycle, but it's going to be short-lived. As strong growth, and I'm sure growth will be strong on a larger base in China, and growth will be strong on a slightly smaller base in India, and indeed in our other member countries. And we look forward to assisting the upcycle as it starts turning very soon.
Well, the G20 summit has just concluded and resulted in plenty of roadmaps on global economic governance. So what will be the specific measures to be taken by the NDB to further implementing the consensus reached by the G20 members during the Hangzhou summit?
I believe the NDB is a response to the new governance paradigm that the developing countries wanted. The developing countries clearly wanted a paradigm where countries of the South, countries which were developing, had a voice. And that voice is embodied in the New Development Bank. And that is what we are now increasingly hearing at fora like the G20 and so on, the call for what I would say global governance.
Well, let's bring you the very latest on those meetings in Goa. I'm joined live from Goa by CCTV's Siyue. What's on the agenda today, though? What can we expect from the meetings?
Yes, Beatrice, you know that the BRICS leaders today have very packed schedule. In the early morning, they have a welcoming ceremony and they have taken a group photo together. And in the afternoon, there were lots of meetings, including the small group meeting, large group meeting. And the BRICS leaders just exchange ideas on a variety of issues, of international and regional issues of the common concern. That includes the issues concerning climate change, anti-terrorism, sustainable development development goals and also the WTO reform in the global economic governance. And another thing that is very important is that after the meeting, the BRICS leaders will just issue a very important outcome document, that is the Goa Declaration. And we can see that lots of things will be mentioned in this Goa Declaration. That includes the cooperation in economic and financial institution, and also other issues concerning security issues. So you know that another very important thing that the BRICS leaders will also discuss is about to make more business connection between the BRICS countries, and they will also hoping to make some of the multi-entry visas for the businessmen. And another thing is very important is that there is also a very important gain in the Goa Summit, that is to make the decision of pushing forward a new credit rating agency that is quite different from the traditional three credit rating agencies that will be favored for the Western economies. So it will give the emerging economies and developing countries a much more fair voice to be heard across the globe. Beatrice?
Well, Siyue, you have mentioned a lot of meetings, small meetings, rather large meetings that took place there today. Can you also talk us through the highlights of those meetings in Goa so far?
Yes, you know that, Beatrice. Just a few minutes ago, the BRICS leaders have held a plenary session, and right now they are doing some of the very important things, is the signing ceremony. And later, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also give a press statement to the media from all across the world. And which is very important is that the BRICS leaders not only focused on the BRICS cooperation themselves, but also they would like to enhance cooperation with regional countries. So the BRICS leaders will also hold talks with the Business Council, and also they will hold talks with the leaders from the BIMSTEC. BIMSTEC is a very important international organization involving of a very group of countries in Southeast Asia and South Asia, including the Bangladesh, India, Myanmar, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Bhutan. So that kind of BIMSTEC is a very important step by the India to emphasize its commitments to strengthen cooperation with Southeast Asian nations, and also to make it a very high priority for them to implement the India's Act East policy. So that will be very important. And another thing I'd like to mention is that China and India are also the driving force for the global economy. So there is much things to be anticipated between the cooperation among China and India, and also Russia, South Africa, and Brazil. Back to you, Beatrice.
Right, Siyue joining us there from Goa.